Well, it has certainly been a while, but today I want to talk about the current state of debate within Bitcoin and Litecoin. Sources, as always, will be provided below, so let's get into it. I have noticed, as have undoubtedly many of you, that there has been a dearth of conversation. The two main hubs for discussion are Bitcoin and RBTC. Both have their fair share of isolationism. Both have also been guilty of ideological rhetoric, which has in turn led to fellow community members creating posts here and here, calling others out over the blind dogma and vitriol. And while this is a nice thing, sadly, it doesn't appear to be lasting. Here are just a few of the more popular examples that I have come across. Starting with this top comment, which happens to be an ad hominem attacking core developers. It was also at the time baseless and contradictory to itself, and at point of filming, now completely disproven. This post here about killing off Litecoin once and for all, with a little smiley face of course, and calling people over an R-Bitcoin ignorant, is just vitriol laced on top of an actual serious conversation that could be had. This one about Litecoin and SegWit is just circular reasoning. In fact, this is what happened to the price of Litecoin when Wang Chun, owner of the largest pool for Litecoin, started signalling for SegWit. And this is what happened when he said he wasn't going to signal for SegWit. Not to mention, it also blatantly ignores wider factors and issues at play at the time. This one happens to be an ad hominem against Bitcoin Unlimited mixed with actual news. This post, stating that Bitcoin has previously hard forked, is not true. A temporary chain fork did occur in March of 2013, and Gavin Anderson did a full post-mortem on the issue, which you can find here. You can still sync pre-0.8 versions of Bitcoin on the network if you take the time to make the necessary changes to them. As it was decided, in order to stop this issue reoccurring again, everyone was either required to upgrade or work around the bug. And 2, it also edges on being a false attribution for the unlimited argument, as even if Bitcoin had previously hard forked, it wouldn't mean it is safe to do it again. The situation we find ourselves in now is greatly different to the situation in 2013. This one about the ignorance and lies of R-Bitcoin could benefit from some citations to back up the points raised. This post attacking the mining pool pro-hashing is also worth noting. Steve, who runs the pro-hashing pool, whilst personally against SegWit, has publicly stated both on Twitter and on his forums that he will be supporting it for the pool, as it is what his customers want. He's even gone as far as to release a timescale for activation. I honestly see no reason for him not to follow through on this, and if he does, he should be commended for putting the wishes of the users and his customers before his own. So, quick editor's note, I am just putting a video together, and right this moment, pro-hashing have indeed started signalling support for SegWit on Litecoin. Needless to say, quite a few people are very happy, and I'm glad to see that Steve stuck to his word, so good on you. Also, comments such as this are just strawmen and don't accurately portray his position, which he in fact laid out here. Finally, this one attacking a former RBTC moderator is an association fallacy. The poster clearly states their reasoning for stepping down is because, in his words, I think Bitcoin is past the point of no return. There are a number of different routes Bitcoin could take this year, and as far as I can see, they all end up at the same destination: failure. I was a Bitcoin early adopter in 2011 and have invested far more time into Bitcoin than is reasonable. I truly hope Bitcoin does survive, but what I think will happen is not predicated on what I want to happen. And I think you get the point. There is plenty more out there. Even Roger Ver and Tony Vase were guilty of it in their recent debate they did. NoPower73, a Tumblebit developer, did a quick Medium post write-up on it. The whole debate is an hour long, so he hasn't managed to cover all of the topics, such as Roger's statement on the Lightning Network, where he either willfully omisses information in order to strengthen his position, or simply hasn't done enough research to know that Peter Todd, a Lightning Network developer, publicly announced the issue, along with the suggestion of a adaptive block size limit as one possible solution to it.
So I think you left out one of the biggest risks with the Lightning Network, and I'll ask you, so what happens if a bunch of people want to close out their Lightning Network channels all at the same time and the blocks are full and their transactions don't get included in the blocks in time? What happens then? Do you know? And if you don't know, I'll tell you.
Go ahead, tell me.
Everybody loses their money. It's a big, big problem. A bunch of people can have their money stolen if that happens. If the blocks are full and people are trying to close their channels and the transactions can't be included in the network, a bunch of people can lose their money. A bunch.
I would need somebody way more technical in Lightning Network to debate that statement. Like, I don't know how
So you're
factual that is,
advocating a bunch
Roger.
of stuff that you don't fully understand? Like, that seems like a really, really big problem.
I have outsourced the technical details to data scientists.
So you're appealing to authority, okay.
I'm appealing to people that are smarter than me in a certain thing.
So we just showed right here, I understand more of what's going on than yours.
I don't do my own
appeal to my authority.
Also, no, that was not an appeal to authority. That was just Tony Vase saying he doesn't know enough from a topic to fully discuss it, and he can't really hold you to account on what you're saying, and it would be better had with someone who's got more technical understanding. Either way, check out the Medium post. It's a good little read, even if admittedly some of the points are trivial. The next thing I want to bring up, and I am aware this is rather personal to me, but others may be able to relate, is ideologues censoring and controlling the conversation. So when I originally made my Segwit Explained video with help from Luke Dash Jr. and Tom Zander, people on very different sides of the argument, I honestly didn't expect it to be received so well. Somehow I managed to please people on both sides of the aisle, and I was very happy to be able to do that. However, fast forward to my next video, which was on the Lightning Network, and its stats look like this. Now, I can't outright prove my next statement as I don't have a record of it, but the video was immediately hit into the negative on both RBTC and on YouTube. It has, however, since recovered. For a subreddit that prides itself on its neutrality and free and open discussion of ideas that it may not like or agree with, I am certainly seeing a different picture. Not from its moderators, but from a handful of its users who can immediately bury posts that do not conform to the worldview. In a sense, controlling the conversation and making sure it never hits the front page for the eyes of the normal users. I believe this is one of the reasons RBTC has become rather one-sided in its content. Former RBTC moderator Jay Ratcliffe, who happens to have resigned due to censorship concerns, also stated, "Today I find the RBTC community to be highly dysfunctional. It is not operating an open and engaging discussion for all things Bitcoin. It has become something else, and that any person who makes a post which is in favour of the current core roadmap, or a small blocker if you will, is immediately downvoted to such an extent that the post is hidden from view. This is consistent and persistent, and has a real effect." Our Bitcoin, on the other hand, faces censorship from its moderation team, who are at this point well documented and well known to be removing discussions surrounding Bitcoin Classic, Unlimited, and basically any solutions that are not Bitcoin core. The free marketplace of ideas that should exist is simply not efficient. We should be dealing with opposing ideas directly and confronting them face to face. And unless we do, people will simply go elsewhere to discuss them, which will only further complicate and polarise discussion around the topic and lead to a situation which, well, we currently find ourselves in. I look forward to seeing how both RBTC and RBitcoin react. Perhaps one of them might end up reinforcing some of the points I raised in this video. Just know I value an honest conversation above all else, so let me know what you think, and as always, I will see you next time.